Hi guys, and welcome back to Crypto Chester. I'm here today to talk to you about real world assets, RWAs. We're going to be talking about a few projects in this video and basically dissecting these projects because I think real world assets, RWAs, are looking for a massive move to the upside in this current run, and that's why we're reviewing these projects today. So the first project we're going to be reviewing, of course, you can see it on the screen. It is called Chainlink. Now, we know Link has been doing very well for a long period of time. It's got a lot of backing. It's got a lot of history in the cryptocurrency space, to say the least. Okay. Now we know that that they actually handle a lot of transactions on a day-to-day basis. If you look at their total transactions, it's actually $19.8 trillion. Okay, these guys are very influential in the RWA space, and they are basically one of the leaders right now. Okay, so basically Chainlink is redefining how the world transacts on chain. Okay, so they've got obviously their ecosystem, they've got use cases. So the use cases is where it's sort of really important here: asset tokenization, financial services, DeFi, gaming, NFT, collectibles, climate markets, I guess like carbon credits and stuff like that, enterprise, and then insurance as well. So getting all of these things on chain as real world assets, and Chainlink is going to be hosting all of that. Super important. Okay, let's go over to the chart and let's look at Chainlink to see where it is and how it's been behaving recently in these current market conditions. Okay, so if we look at the high for the current bull run on the 14th of December, it was for Chainlink, seeing that price at around $30.76 here per coin, per asset, and now currently trading at $15.16. Okay, we have obviously seen basically a 50% decline here in this asset since the high of this current bull market. So basically that means if you were to get in now, there's still a 2x up to previous bull market highs. Okay, still a 2x in your investment if you were to buy now. Is now the good buying area? That's probably the question that you're asking. Now, right now, I wouldn't say it is, just because one, we haven't tested this volume weighted ATR band here on the daily that's been creeping up for a while. We've tested the 4-hour and the 12-hour multiple times and reclaimed them. But what you can see here is we're actually in a very large chart pattern. Okay, the very large chart pattern. You can see from all-time high of Chainlink back in 2021 of May, that was a price of $54 a coin. Now from there, you can see we've obviously got a massive trend line here, which does represent quite a heavy amount of resistance. Okay, you can see here we tested that, got absolutely slammed. Didn't get slammed here, but what we're waiting on right now is to see how we actually react in this area. If we actually can break this to the upside, then we might see another move, something like this, potentially testing highs, and then this area here would be considered as a lower high. But right now, it's not. Right now, it's considered as a micro lower low that we have set, and we haven't actually broken any sort of micro trends here to the upside. Okay, so you can see this is clearly a downtrend right now, clearly below all major moving averages here, clearly below trend lines, clearly below other volume weighted ATR bands here that would signify a massive move to the upside if we were to get above the 4-hour here. But right now, this pocket for me is a clean resistance pocket. Unless we can break this, then there is no move to really be considered right now. Now, with that being said, guys, I'm not saying that it's all over. This isn't something you should be investing in. I'm saying right now it's actually cheap. I just don't think we're going to be breaking to the upside imminently. Okay, I think we've got a little bit more sideways, a little more of testing in this sort of region before we see new highs get set. Hey, I could be wrong. Bitcoin could smash it up to 200K, and obviously Chainlink will follow with the liquidity that pours into the market. But right now, from a TA standpoint, I feel like that we are due a bit more resistance to the downside from these key areas, just from looking at technical factors. Okay. Now you can see stochastic over on the daily is creeping up pretty high as well. So that does need to retrace momentum in the central area. It's absolutely fine to be in that area. But in order for to get a really solid move, what we really want is this central zone to be tested, which it has been tested already. A nice pullback like so, coming down. And then this is the area that we're looking out for. This will be the bullish move. When it comes down to this area, we get the AI triangles, we get the crossovers, it shoots back up from this point, and then we have basically our lower anchor and then our midterm anchor with obviously stochastic nice and low as well. When all these things line up, then it's very likely that we do see Link take another move to the upside. Okay, so that's sort of what I'm waiting on right now on the macro here for Link. Now moving on to another RWA asset that I think is going to be doing very, very well here in this market, and has been doing very, very well in this market over the past sort of 6 months or so. It is one that you all know very, very well. It's Hedera. Hedera.com, okay, real world asset tokenization for financial assets, digital assets, real estate. There you go, real estate. And also many, many other things, stable coins, stuff like that. These guys have really set up a very interesting blockchain. And you can see that they are continuously partnering up with people, trying to bring real world assets on chain. And the one thing that really does fascinate me about this project, and the reliability of this project, is sort of backed by its partners. And you can see here, just looking on CMC, that it's actually currently at an $8.15 billion market cap. So this is doing quite well. It's 16th out of all cryptocurrencies out there. And you can see here, it's actually done very nicely over the last day, looking for around nearly a 5% move. Now, in the last 7 days, just basically representing a sideways market. The last 1 month down 10%. The last year actually up nearly 80%. But you can see here, if we did the last 6 months, it's actually done very, very badly. It's probably seen around a 50%, maybe more correction, okay? But this is, for me, one of the leaders in the RWA space. Well, it is the leader in the RWA space because of, look at all of the companies that actually are involved with the governing council of this decentralized network. Just look at these companies. These are blue chip. These are Fortune 500 companies that are on this governing council, essentially, right? So you've got to think about it like this. If real world assets are really going to take off, which they probably are, we just need the right regulations in place. If Google, Dell, IBM, WorldPay, Ubisoft, for example, Standard Bank, if these big companies are using Hedera as they're governing the blockchain for RWAs, where are they going to put their RWAs, guys? Where are they going to actually incorporate their networks into their day-to-day payment systems? It's going to be using this blockchain, okay? They're going to be using the one that they govern. So that poses the question here, how high could this asset actually go when it incorporates all of its governing council's utilities? Ridiculous gains could be on the cards here, guys, and that's why I definitely think that HBAR is not one to really miss here. There's definitely a massive underpricing for this asset currently. And let's go over to the chart and let's really look at where this thing currently is and how it has been behaving throughout this run as well. So you can see, obviously, November the 5th, classic explosion in the price here, and we haven't really seen that much of a pullback if we are referencing this point. So this was trading at 4 cents here on the low around when Trump came in, and then from there obviously exploded up to 39 cents as the high. Now, unlike a lot of other assets, it actually held this area quite nicely for a significant amount of time, and you can see here we did set that high of around 40 cents for this run. Not sure if it's the all-time high for this asset. I don't think it is. No, it's not. Nearly got there, but it wasn't quite the all-time high compared to 2021. But it does show testing that all-time high from 2021 does actually give it a lot of confidence, because I know a lot of assets, especially a lot of GameFi assets and stuff like that, they haven't really tested previous all-time highs from 2021. Okay, they haven't. Whereas Hedera, HBAR, is really climbed up there and showed its strength this run in comparison to other coins. And that's why it is, rightfully so, placed 16th in the cryptocurrency race right now. Now you can see, obviously we have seen a pullback here, and we are testing this area for a lovely level of support. 19 cents is the current price for this asset. There is clearly a level of support here, which hasn't broken for a significant amount of time. We're talking, well, near enough 3 months here in this area, and it just hasn't broken. We've tested it, we've tested lows again, we've tested again. We've got basically a doji star candle there as well, which is uncertainty in the market as well. But right now, this asset is a perfect DCA position in my opinion, guys. You should definitely go check that out, and obviously Smash a little like on the video if you found any sort of value here. Now let's look at some buying areas for this asset, because obviously super important to get that right. We can't just be aping in. Well, you can, but not if you're leveraging, okay? You need to be very cautious of that. So that would be the trend line, clean as day. As you can see here, resistance here. We're likely to see some resistance off the 21, the price action channel, and the 55 MA as we do come up here. So I probably would expect a bit more resistance, maybe even another leg down here to the volume weighted ATR band on the daily. Once we hit that on the daily, then we can be talking about big gains to the upside, okay? Usually we do see quite a nice bounce from the daily volume weighted ATR band here. If I get a nice example for that, that would be great. Let's have a little look. So that's the bright green one here at the bottom. As you can see, that comes up like so, comes up like so. That is this bounce here. So we came down very nicely, tested it, traded along it, and then bounced right up. So that move itself is actually a 21% move. So you can see, obviously, we have massive downside from that point, but that's obviously bear market scenarios, right? So you can see here, when we do come down and test this area again, we'd like to see a nice wave up. If that wave is big enough, it will break this trend line to the upside, break other moving averages, and then we will see continuation, okay? And then we will see this macro trend, not the mega macro, but the macro downtrend here get broken if we're breaking lower highs at around 28 cents or so. So in summary, DCAing in this area is super intelligent, super strong. You are likely to make a lot of money, but be prepared for corrections to the downside of roughly another potentially 30% here. If that does happen, then for me personally, just buy the whole way down, baby. Buy the whole way down. This thing is going to rip in the next 2 years. From a long-term investment strategy, this is a very smart play. You just got to be able to deal with these fluctuations as and when they happen, okay? If we do explode to the upside and we don't test to the downside here, the next trade for me would be breaking this and breaking all the major moving averages here. You can see there is a clean 20% move up to the volume weighted ATR band here for that roughly around 20% move there, 22.5. And that does bring us up to this lower high area at 28. Now that is obviously very crucial for resistance, as we have seen in the past. So if you are futures, if you are long in the hell out of this bad boy when you get to these areas, then make sure you're taking profit, because you can actually lose just as much as you gain in a very short period of time, which is demonstrated here, guys. Okay, so just be prepared for that. But yeah, that is what I would say about HBAR and about Chainlink. Let me know if you guys have any recommendations for any other RWA assets. I know IOTA is a good one as well. There's a couple more out there. Some real estate RWA projects coming out as well that are really good. So yeah, definitely let me know in the comment section if you have any, guys, and let me know what you think of this video, and drop a little like if you found any sort of value here at all. Thank you ever so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Peace out for now, and I'll see you in the next one.